Hello, my cello people. We're going to be working on 144 Londonderry Air. So grab your instrument and we're going to get tuned. Here is your A. Here is your D. G. C. All right, so with Londonderry Air, we're going to be working a lot in fourth position. I even extended fourth position. Fourth position, you may remember, I tout on it a lot because it's the same fingerings as the string below it. Experiment with that. What I mean by that is here's D, E, F, G, or in this case D, E flat, F, G. And if you do the same thing up here, you don't have the D because the D is right here. But you shift forward a half step above that. Here's E flat. Here's F, G. You can double that with the G that's below. So that's where you can hear if you're in tune. You have the same fingerings. It should seem a little bit more intuitive than the rest of the positions. Also, look at my thumb. When I get to right about here, where my thumb stops moving down, that's fourth position. If all of this is new to you, make sure you check out the lesson from last time from Tuesday so that you go through all those exercises leading up to the song. So you should get comfortable with fourth position as well as the other higher positions that we explore for the first time. But the good news with this song, we're going to only stay in first position and fourth position. But note also that we have two flats. So B flat in first position and E flat. Okay, so here is B flat. Here is E flat. As opposed to E and B. Okay, make sure those are nice and extended. This should be the shape of your hand. I may have talked about this last time, but remember, don't touch your face, but it's the shapes and sizes of your face. Thumb in the ear, finger on the eyebrow, second finger on the nose, and pinky on the lips. Why do I just worry about these fingers here and the thumb and not the ring finger? Well, because the ring finger just floats in the middle there and we rarely use it. We're really not going to use it in this pattern. Okay, let's get started. We're going to pluck the first little bit here. We're going to start with going A, B, C, D, C, and here's our first shift. After we play fourth finger here, we're going to shift all the way up till our thumb catches that saddle there, that curve back there below the neck. And we're going to play that G. Again, you can check this with your open G. It's going to be 2 octaves difference, right? Here's the first octave. And then here's the second octave. Exercise, okay? I find that super helpful just to get it in my ear what you're going to listen for. Also, if you have a tuner that can just spout out any note that you want, I would recommend having that on so that you know what you're shooting for once you get it. So again, here's the beginning. And then here's second finger. Shift back. This one's a little bit more tricky because we're going to go a half step. The half step is between here and here. Okay? Boop. Right there. Also, it's in fourth position with our first finger back. Like I mentioned before, E, instead of being right here, is going to be E flat. And you may notice a different shape in our hand. So when we were in first position, our hand was like this, yeah, with our first finger mostly straight. Hopefully it was straight. Don't cheat on me here. But first finger in this position, because all the intervals are tighter together the farther down or up we get. In the fingerboard, the first finger just needs to come back like so, okay? A little bit different of a shape when we're in a higher position. So, I keep talking. Let's get back to playing. Start at the beginning. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Shift. Shift. And then we shift back. Remember to straighten out your finger there. And this is funny because we've been doing just 1, 2, and 4 this whole time. Now we're going to throw in a third finger. And this is saying it's an accidental, it's a natural sign in parentheses for that F. The second finger is F, right? Because the measure before it, we had an F sharp right here. But it's not really violating or changing any rules that we normally set forth in music. In music, if there's an accidental, it only applies to the same notes in that measure, whatever octave. In the next measure, if the accidental isn't there and it's a natural sign, well, the natural sign would cancel it out, but we don't even need that natural sign. If it's in the next measure, it's back to normal. It's back to the way the key signature programmed it to be. Okay, so here's that F. We're going to start the last two measures. We go from 4, 4, 2 on that F, and then shift back. Now this is the first time in this song that we play in fourth position on the D string. And it's the same thing that we had in this right here, from the D to the E flat. Okay, right? That much space to here. We're going to do the same thing right here. Alright, and that second finger there is B flat. Same thing is right up there. Also, the same thing is down here. That's why second finger here is the same as second finger here. Second finger here is the same as second finger here. Okay, that's the way that fourth position works. If nothing else you learned from my class, remember that fourth position has the same fingerings as first position on the string below it. But back to what I was talking about here. We go from G, A flat. No. Yes. 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 No. G, not A flat. It's just B flat and E flat in this key signature. So then we have first finger here. Those should sound real close together. The reason why that was such a big concept that I want you to notice is because if we played A flat, it's not the same pattern, finger pattern, that we had here. Because this E needed to be E flat. This A doesn't need to be A flat. It's not in the key signature. So this real close, okay? Just like pattern 2. Alright, so let's pluck through that. Never mind, you can play through it later on with smart music. So take a look at that in the instructions I put in the announcements for so. I just want to talk about bowing for a little bit here. What's funny with this song is it helps us be a little bit more versatile because a lot of the slurs that it has in this song is the same time as our bowing. But there are some times that a similar group of notes is slurred in one part, but they're not slurred in another part. In particular, the very beginning. Notice how I started up-o there. Up, down, okay. 1, 2, 3. Yes, we're going to have to slur on that shift. How on earth do you slur on a shift? Because it could sound very much like this, which might sound okay for this song, but we want to discipline ourselves to be able to not do that. Here's the trick. When we slur while doing a shift or shift while doing a slur, we put less pressure on our bow for just a fraction of a second, as well as lift our fingers off the string for a little bit, okay? Notice how it was much more cleaner of a change besides me getting the D string here. And that's because I lifted my fingers off the string, let my fingers rest just on top without pushing them down. I let them rest as I slid down to the pattern or fourth position. I also did the same thing with my bow. Okay, it's pretend that I'm playing with the stick. It's down, and then when I shift, I come and relax. Just kind of let it glide for a second there. It doesn't make too terrible of a sound if you do it for just a fraction of a second. It's in and then glide and then back in for that slur, okay? Try those two notes a lot to get that technique down. Smart music might let you get away with it. It might not. I don't know how smart music is, but when you perform for others, they're gonna know, okay? Same thing with right there, right? Now I messed up my bowing already, could you tell? I'm going to start again at the beginning in just a second. But the next thing I wanted you to notice, just like we started at the beginning, up, down, the same four notes are going to be involved in measure 5. In measure 5, though, it is slurred. Luckily for us, it still starts with an up bow. Okay, jumping ahead, 5, 6, 7, measure 7, you notice how we had that G, F sharp G. Make sure you practice that just because the using the accidental, reading the accidental, sometimes managing two different things in our head is going to slow us down and mess things up. So just make sure you look at that and make sure that you know what direction you're going, how fast your bow should be going in that part. Okay, I'm going to start again at the beginning, like I said. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful song. I love it a lot. One thing that I neglected to talk about is in measure 3. You may have found some problems with that. How do you shift when you're going from 4th finger to 1st finger? Take a look at how I do this in slow motion. You go from 4th finger D to the 1st finger E. You get pretty much there, and then you switch. Okay? My cello teacher called this this idea that the 4th finger was the driver and the rest of it was kind of like carts on a train. So we go forward with 4th finger. 4th finger is involved in the shift. And notice how my whole arm angle is changing in order to do that. Well, that's kind of the reason why. If you just did this, you could end up in a posture, a finger way pattern that wouldn't help you, serve you at all, because the next note is over here and over here. So this trains our whole hand to get up and over so that we're just floating above, ready for the next notes. So do that, and you can even hold it down every time you practice a shift. You can do it with your bow and hear the slidey sound so you know when you get to the right note. Okay? Alrighty. Have fun working with all of that. I believe I covered everything. Make sure that you're watching the slurs, shadow bow it before you go. Smart music, I believe, can tell when you slur and when you can't. And it may pick you up if you're not clean enough on that slur with the shifts going on at the same time. So practice. Practice with smart music so it can tell you what notes you're missing. It's most likely going to be the stuff that's accidental. So remember B flat and E flat and F natural, and then of course that one F sharp that throws itself in there in the end there. Okay, have fun with that. Practice lots. I'll see you guys after spring break. Bye bye.